Hey guys, James here and welcome to another Bestiary. This one is from God of War. So I just finished up all my trophies. I finally killed the Valkyries, got all 9 of them, and my Bestiary is finished and up to date. Let's begin. First is our primordial class. It's the Draugr. Very quick, very strong as it says there. If you see the images here, the images are pretty well detailed, so I didn't think it was necessary to attach any screenshots or vids with them. What you see is what you get. Most of these, they sort of look a bit orange. The simple rule I stick with fighting anything in God of War is if it looks orange, use the axe. If it looks blue, use the Blades of Chaos. If it looks green, you can pretty much use both. Draugr, it's more their numbers that are annoying. The dual-wield Draugr, this one, he can be quite tough to beat sometimes in the beginning. All I can say is dodge and block as much as possible. 2 weapons, they tend to combo their attacks, so he'll attack one straight off the other. Best move here, definitely parry. Explosive Draugr. This guy, you got to be careful because he can basically explode and harm you and other enemies near him, which is pretty good if you get him from afar. Draugr with a power weapon. This one, he kind of comes in at you with a strong attack. But if you dodge, you should be alright. You always have to watch out for any attacks where you see the red icon or UI above them, because that usually means that you can't block it, so you got to be careful. Draugr projectile, easy to kill, but from a distance, they will get annoying as they're constantly throwing fireballs. I would suggest try and deal with them first, or get Atreus just to shoot them and kill them. Keep them occupied so you can move forward. Draugr with a shield. These guys, obviously, they can block. But if you parry, you can break that attack, so you can break that guard. So that's pretty cool. Draugr with speed, he's also quite annoying. They stomp their feet before they charge, so that's a tell. And then you know that, okay, they're coming in for an attack, and it's pretty tough to block them when they do attack, so rather just roll away. Heavy Draugr, takes a lot more damage to defeat them. Not as very quick, like it's pretty obvious they're slow moving. I don't think any of these are hard to kill. Just try and keep your distance when attacking. If you're playing the plus version, it's quite easy to keep a long stretch and just attack. Fire Ancient. The Ancients are quite simple. If you have an axe, throw it for their chest every time they cross their arms and open their chest. Just watch out for what comes out of the chest, because that tends to cause damage. Fire Nightmare. These little nightmares are so annoying. I usually get Atreus to kill them. You can block their attacks, but mainly you're going to have to either throw your axe at them or use Blades of Chaos to knock them out of the air. Forest Ancient. Again, with all the Ancients, you want to attack the middle, the center part, the heart of the beast. They're not always easy to kill. You might have to do some dodging, and it's a bit frustrating when you have to take aim with the axe, throw the axe, hit them in the chest as the same moment that they're attacking you. So it can be a bit frustrating. Frost Ancient. Obviously, it does help if you use, fire on frost and frost on fire. But sometimes, even just using an axe on the Frost Ancient, this still works. Ice Ancient. They all look the same. They're just colored a little differently. And some of their attacks are just looking a little different, the VFX on it. But overall, it's the same bad guy, just reconditioned in different colors or with different VFX on him. There's the Lava Ancient. Again, like the axe in the chest. Simple as that. Soul Eater. Oh, they all look the same, don't they? Let's be honest. It's even the same image. Soul Devourer and Stone Ancient. Just defeat them how you defeat all the Ancients. And now we go to the Seidr. This is the Brood. They can poison, so you've got to be very careful. And they explode when they die, which also gives you poison. So try and attack them, keep them at arm's length, and roll away. Once you've got them, because sometimes they can explode after you've successfully killed them. Gulveig, these are perhaps the most frustrating. They usually float around, and it's difficult to attack them because they become basically transparent. Best advice I can offer here is use Atreus, get him to stun them, and as they're stunned, just attack them with whatever weapon you have. Nightmare and Nightmare Parasite. If you stun or kill a possessed enemy with the Nightmare Parasite, it will force the possessing nightmare out of their body. So these tend to possess creatures and control their actions, which i.e. means makes them stronger. This is the Exploding Nightmare. This guy, if he gets too close to you and explodes, can hurt you. Legion. Legion, it just means basically that there's a lot of them, and they're not hard to kill actually. They just keep coming, pretty simple to attack. Reavers, these ones are a little bit tougher, and they're able to heal themselves as well. If you start attacking, just finish the job. You'll notice they turn green when they start to heal themselves. And watch out if you kill them when you're up close, because they tend to explode into a poisonous ball. Yeah, not cool. Revenant poison. This one, same as the other previous Revenant, only when she hits you, it will poison you, taking away some of your health. This is the Summoner. She summons nightmares, so you best try and kill her quickly so she doesn't spawn too many nightmares. This is the Shadow. They only attack after they've done some explosive Seidr magic spell. You gotta rush them, get in there before they try and do this. Obviously close combat is more efficient, but use Atreus to basically hit the guy, so that way, you know, if you're busy and they're far off, it'll keep them occupied. Traveler, you want to dodge his giant sword. His attacks are usually very slow, so each time he swings the sword and he's kind of delayed, take that moment to quickly hit him with the axe or slash him. This is the Traveler Champion. He kind of approaches you back end in, like a reversing garbage truck. Just be careful, because he'll reverse up to you, his shield protecting him, and then he'll swing the sword. My advice, just roll away as much as possible, wait till he gets exhausted, swinging the sword, and then go in and attack. These guys also can be a bit of a handful if you let them get too close. Don't let them hit you with the hammer. Don't let them power the weapon up. Moral of the story is just try and attack as quickly as possible these ones, and take your time with the heavies, and try and stay away from their attacks. Now we're going to look at the dragons here. This is Fafnir. The dragons, they're all pretty much the same to kill. Some of them, the dragons, they're all the same. You're kind of freeing them, not just killing them. If the first dragon you encounter, you do have to take him down. But the other dragons, you're basically setting them free. And this is one of those dragons. Very fun missions. You first have to break the lock. Once the lock is broken, you set the dragon free. Raisler, this is the first dragon you encounter, and it is one epic battle. And when you finally get finished, you get to rip one of his teeth out. With dragons, all I can say is, for this dragon in particular, you're going to use the explosive tree sap, and you're going to get Atreus to shoot that tree sap as you're throwing it into the head of this beast, or any parts that are exposed showing the red tree sap. It's the quickest way to kill him. Ogres, there's plenty of ogres in here. Simply put, I save my Sparta Rage. As soon as I see an ogre, I attack it. As soon as the R3 appears, I turn off Spartan Rage, I jump on him, and use him to basically finish off other creatures around me. He's very useful for that. Like, as soon as you can, hit him as soon as you can and climb on top and let him do all the damage for you. Here's just your standard ogre. Same philosophy again. Otar, another dragon that I freed. Usually these dragons are friendly. They're just visual threats, but they don't actually do anything to you. Poison wolf. There's a few wolves, but this one, if it bites you, you get poison damage. So try and avoid them. Roll away as quickly as possible, and use Atreus just to shoot them to keep them occupied or stunned. Rabid wolf, same again. Just keep your distance and try and hit them with Blades of Chaos or the axe. Region, another dragon I set free. You don't really get the option to attack them. There's only one that's evil, the rest seem to be kind of friendly. So a Tutselworm, it digs in the ground. These can be annoying because they jump out at you. Try and keep your block ready, and also use Atreus where possible just to stun them enough before they dive deep that you can walk up and attack them. A Cursed Tutselworm, just apply the same method and don't let them get their teeth into you. This is a Wolver. These can be really tough to kill in later levels. When they do a certain slash, it can show red. You just have to dodge. Don't let them get a hold of you. My advice is just hit them with as many attacks with the Blades of Chaos as possible. Use your Runic attacks and you should be fine. The same goes with the Fierce Wolver. So Hel-Walkers, the Hellbrood, they've got an air slam. So when you see these things in the air, just roll out of the way. I would suggest using Runic attacks for them. That way you can kill them quicker. A Hell Reaver, they actually get enraged and attack you more fiercely if you are frozen. Do your best and avoid their frozen attacks. If they do manage to freeze you, just basically stay on the defensive till it passes out. So the attack doesn't last forever, you can time it. Hell Reaver God, watch out for these guys because they have shields, so if you're throwing attacks, they can block it. Best thing is let them come up close. I would suggest using Runic attacks, or throw your axe at the feet, let it go around them even, and call the axe back and it'll trip them up. Hell Reaver Lord, these can be pretty tough to beat. If you use the Blades of Chaos, any of these frost enemies tend to die a lot quicker, which is great. You'll see straight away it takes a lot of their health. And the more consistent your attacks, you drain them a lot quicker. So I suggest when you attack something, like focus on killing it rather than, you know, attacking it a little bit and walking away. Just try and attack it till it's dead. Hell Revenant. As with all Revenants, just watch out. This one just has ice. Shadow Archer. Their projectiles are quick, but just give a bit of damage. They don't really stun or freeze you. The Hell Shadow Scout. They cast ice walls, which they hide behind for cover, but I think with a solid attack you can break through. The Hell Traveler, again, these are very slow moving, hard to kill. Like, let them wear themselves out with the swinging of their sword, dodge as much as possible, and attack when they're like slowed down. Hel-Walker, usually if he attacks you, the mace gets stuck in the floor, and that's a perfect opportunity to attack him. All these are fairly slow moving, easy to kill. It's just, it takes a lot of timing and make sure you've got the correct gear to take them on. Ice Nightmare. A Nightmare again, only this one's shooting ice. Elves. The earlier elves are easier to kill, but as they become more and more leveled up, they become more difficult to kill, and they can be frustrating because they tend to shoot things that blind you. This is a Dark Elf. This is a Dark Elf Lord. My suggestion here is use Atreus as much as possible to finish him off. Svartalfur. Probably saying it wrong. He is tough to kill. Be prepared for a lot of attacks, a lot of rolling away, a lot of blocking, and don't get blinded by their staff when they shoot the pink balls. Stay away from those little pink balls on the ground because it tends to blind you and then becomes more difficult. Dark Elf Summoner. Dark Elf Warrior. Luckily these ones go on the ground quite often so you can trip them up. Light Elves, they aren't actually dangerous, so I'm not sure why they're included in here. Gloom Nightmare, again another Nightmare, not difficult to kill. So here they've added friends into the Bestiary. This is the Andvari. This is Brock. Goddess Freya. Mimir the Talking Head. Motsogner. Sindri. Obviously Brock and Sindri, you see them all the time. They're there to help you, give you your gear. World Serpent helps you out. You even go inside him at one stage. Some of the Acer Boulder who you take on, he's basically your antagonist. Magni and Modi. These are your first sort of bosses that you're going to encounter. Not difficult to kill. Here we're taking a look at some trolls. Brenna Dowdy. Dowdy Hammer. They all look like each other. They just have different ruins or different VFX over them. Hard to kill, yes, and you'll have to do a special move finisher. Not all the time, but it's recommended to get the job done quickly. Dowdy Kapmar. Dowdy Moner. I'm sure I'm saying this wrong. Death Eater. You'll notice they're all carrying these big rocks. Grendel of the Frost, and basically that is part of your finisher. So when that moment comes, press the square or R3 and drive it into his head. Grendel of the Ashes. John Fodder. Matug Halson. Stonebeard King. And now for the Valkyrie. Really tough to beat, and there's all guides on the internet on how to defeat them. I'm just going to go through each one very quickly and maybe just talk about the queen at the end. Air, Geirdrefall, Gondol, Gunnar, Hilda, Kara, Olrun, Rota, Sigrun. Now the main thing to know about Valkyries is they're really tough to kill, really tough to beat. Sigrun, I must have done it about 10-15 times until I finally got it right, and that was with full gear. I was at level 9 with everything, and my skill level was up to 10, and still I was just barely making it. But it is a good feeling when you do beat them, definitely a sense of accomplishment. Thanks guys for watching, and let me know if there's any others you'd like to see.